UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Qualified, professional, and compassionate doctors talking real solutions to real health problems.
Good evening, viewers, and we welcome you to the DOCtalk show, your week's favorite health talk show. And we are here still minding business about your health because your health is wealth. So we made it a point on this talk show to always discuss issues that are very, very important for your health, for your family, your neighbor, and the nation at large. Thank you for joining us this evening. Your host this evening, Dr. Gavin Nyanzi, and we are streaming live on our Facebook channel, the DOCtalk Show, YouTube channel, the DOCtalk Show. Invite your friends and share the link with your friends and family. In studio with me this evening is a very special guest, and that is none other than Dr. Diana Atwine, the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Health. Dr. Diana, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nyanzi, and good evening, viewers.
We're going to be discussing a very important topic. It's important because it's about your health. It's not something that is talked about regularly, but it's very important, and that's to do with your liver. You guessed it, hepatitis B.
Hepatitis B is the infection that is caused by the viral, the virus, and that virus is called hepatitis B. It was named after the organ it attacks, and that is, hepatitis means inflammation of the liver.
Wow.
So hepatitis B, that is the name of the virus. It is a big problem, although underlooked. It is a silent killer, yet it is not, the majority of the people don't pay attention to this infection.
Okay.
Yet the beauty about this infection is that it can be prevented.
Wow.
Yes.
It is preventable, and yet it is a very big problem. Like Dr. Diana said, it affects the liver. It's a viral infection that affects the liver. And just like we will get to know, some of the symptoms of this disease, actually most of the symptoms will come when the disease is in its later stages. You know, we've heard of yellow discoloration of the eyes, which comes later. But by the time you see that, the problem is really very, very big. And so in the prevention, Dr. Dana, what are the measures in place for somebody to prevent against this infection?
Before we go to the prevention, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that when people get hepatitis, first of all, hepatitis B is highly infectious. What does that mean? First of all, it is 100 times more infectious than HIV. If I have HIV in this room with everyone here, I can live without giving infection to anybody in this room until I die. When I have hepatitis B in this room, there is 100 times more chance of giving hepatitis B to everyone around me.
Wow.
Hepatitis B, when you get hepatitis B, you may not, the majority of the people may not know that they have acquired hepatitis B. Some will just get mild symptoms. Some eventually later in life or in the life cycle of the infection, they may get serious symptoms.
We're going to take a short break and we'll be back to discuss hepatitis B. Thank you very much.
You are watching the DOCtalk show.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*221# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Uganda Parliamentary Circle will hold its 20th annual general meeting on Friday, 13th September 2024, starting at 9 a.m. in the Parliamentary Conference Hall. The annual general meeting will be preceded by free cancer and hepatitis B screening exercise on Thursday, 12th September 2024, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., also in the same place.
You are watching the DOCtalk show.
Thank you for keeping it here with us. Please share the link with your family and friends and let everyone join this very important session this evening. In studio with me is none other than Dr. Diana Atwine, and like I shared earlier on, we're going to be discussing issues to do with the liver. And tonight, specifically, we're going to talk about hepatitis B. Probably you've heard about that condition. It affects the liver. And Dr. Diana is here to tell us more about this. Yes, Dr. Diana, hepatitis B and the liver.
When you get hepatitis B, the liver gets inflamed. It gets sick. Sometimes you begin with fever. You get non-specific symptoms like malaria, nausea, abdominal discomfort. Then later, when the liver is really infected and inflamed, it starts pouring out the bile in the blood. You know bile, that yellow pigment of the one that helps us to digest our food. It is being manufactured in the liver. So when the liver is sick, the cells that manufacture this pigment, it starts going out in the blood. It starts pouring out. Then the eyes, the palm, you start becoming yellow. Some because of that in the blood, now in advanced stage, you start actually scratching your body. You start scratching your body because of that yellow thing in your blood. Later in life, the liver, because it has suffered, it has been inflamed. Even when it kind of heals, because of the scars in the liver, mumanye chibumbu, the liver.
Yes.
But when it heals, the scars in the liver causes the liver to shrink. If the liver was this big, it shrinks like this. The liver is a factory of the body.
Very important organ.
The liver is the main factory that it is an industrial park of the body. When that liver is sick, many of the products of the body that are manufactured by the liver gets kaput.
Yeah.
The protein in the body that we have that helps to form the collagen, that helps to form the enzymes in the body, that helps to form all the messengers. You know, we have nursing aid in the body. We have cleaners, we have soldiers, we have all those things that help to manufacture all those functions come from the liver. When the liver starts falling sick, the protein goes down. You start swelling. Why do you swell? Because your blood becomes watery like this, because the protein is the one that holds water in your system.
Yep.
So water starts going out and you start swelling. But most importantly, you start swelling the abdomen. Now that is what we call liver cirrhosis. If you have had the liver is shrunk, it is not producing protein, your blood becomes watery, it starts oozing out into the abdominal cavity, and you start getting abdominal distension. Then you start getting real failure. In the late stage, actually, people die because the liver has completely shut down. So these symptoms, some people actually can remain carrier with no symptom at all.
Wow.
You have the disease, you are spreading it, but you don't have any symptom. One of the conditions that hepatitis B is doing is actually a precondition to liver cancer. Later, it predisposes the people who have hepatitis B to liver cancer. Therefore, when you get hepatitis B, it is very important that you continue doing routine
Checkups.
That way, you'll be able to intervene as early as possible. You can treat hepatitis B, but the best medicine is vaccination. Because once you get vaccinated, the body is prepared. When you get hepatitis B, it is able to fight that disease, that you do not get severe disease.
Wow. Yes. I hope we are all listening in very well. Dr. Dan has just been giving us how hepatitis B can be very, very terrible to us, to the place of destroying your liver. And at the end of when your liver is destroyed, you are left with no choice. You either get liver transplant or actually you go or you die. And liver transplant is not a very common procedure in our setting. So most likely people that get hepatitis B to end stage where the liver has died, liver cirrhosis, almost all of them end up dying. And so the most important thing is prevention. Like they said, prevention is better than cure. We're going to take a break and we'll be coming back to talk more about how we can prevent hepatitis B, and then also we'll be getting to know more about actually the figures. You know, for example, annually, 600,000 people die globally from this infection. It's a very serious problem that is present with us. Hepatitis B holds position number 15, making it high up there. So we hope you listen in, invite your friends. Let's join this discussion tonight and let's be enlightened and empowered. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in a moment. Thank you very much.
You are watching the DOCtalk Show.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Take 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Take 10. Sports Take 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Ngalu, ngalu, ngalu.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
You are watching the DOCtalk Show.
Thank you so much for keeping it here with us. Before we broke off, Dr. Diana told us about the liver, which is a very important factory for proteins, very important place where blood passes for purification. So it's a very important organ. We cannot survive without it. Your eyes, you have two. Kidneys, you have two. Unfortunately, The liver, you only have one. So once it's dead, it is dead. So we need to really give it special attention. Dr. Diana, how big is this problem of hepatitis B, globally and maybe nationally?
Hepatitis B is a big problem, although most people don't pay attention to it. Globally, there are about 296 million people infected, and even many more. Maybe many more are not known, especially in Africa, where we do not have regular surveys to assess the disease extent. But in Uganda, at one time, we were talking about prevalence of about, I think, 10. I've been informed that at the moment, prevalence has come down to 4.1%.
Wow.
However, that is still a big problem because one patient of hepatitis is very expensive to treat, especially when they come already with complications.
Wow.
So we want to come down as low as possible. For the last 5 years, we rolled out the program to make sure that we vaccinate, we test, we treat, so that all these cases that are multiplying are reduced. We introduced actually vaccination to children.
Wow.
I think over 10 years ago, so that we deal with the possible transmission of mother to child, because hepatitis actually behaves more or less like HIV in terms of transmission. It goes through blood, but for it is more it is beyond blood, even saliva.
Okay.
Even those things of going to saloon and they cut and you bleed, and then they don't sterilize the machine, and then somebody else comes, that one you
can easily get the hepatitis B.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is a big problem. So 4% is still a big problem, because when you go to Mulago and you see how many people have liver disease, liver cancer secondary to
hepatitis B infection,
hepatitis B, then you know how big the problem is.
Dr. Dana, what does prevalence 4% mean for the person watching us tonight?
Every 100 people you select, 4 people have hepatitis B.
Wow, that's quite a big number. So it's still a big challenge. Yeah, so, and you've talked about prevention, prevention by vaccination. More than 10 years ago, the government of Uganda introduced vaccinating of the children, which has been very protective. And besides vaccination, are there other ways through which somebody can prevent themselves from this?
Okay, I think the approach here first is to ensure that the population is aware how this disease is spread. This spread is like HIV. If you have sex with someone who has hepatitis, you will get it. If you kiss someone with hepatitis, you will get it. If you cut yourself and somehow contaminate somebody, any blood or body fluid contamination to the other person, once it accesses your system, you will get hepatitis. So the public needs to know the ways in which we get hepatitis. Sex, kissing, sharing tools, sharp objects, or this tattoo, people who are doing tattoo.
It's a new thing around town, tattooing, yes.
So all those things can cause you to get hepatitis. Even mother to child. If a mother is pregnant and has hepatitis, they can pass it on to the baby.
Wow.
So what do we need to do? Individually, you need to be sure that your partner is also tested. And you test, you do regular check, because you could say, I tested last year. It doesn't stop you from testing this time, because this is infectious disease. It can get you. It's not like when you, even non-infectious, if you test now, you'll have to repeat and test. So regular check, vaccinate. Vaccinations are available in our facilities. When the children, of course, that one we have covered, because hepatitis now, hepatitis B is one of the immunizable diseases among children.
Wow.
If you have hepatitis B, you need to go for further checkup. The further checkup is that you need to test. They need to take your sample, your blood, to check the viral load, because that viral load determines how much you are infecting others around you.
Wow.
When you have high viral load I'm talking about the viruses in your body, in your blood.
Hepatitis B viruses.
So if you have high viral load of viruses in your body,
yeah,
it means that you are infecting everybody. If you drink this this glass and another one, it's not washed properly, and I come and drink, I'll get hepatitis. If I go to a salon, I have high load, and they cut me, and I have some blood somewhere, and you use the same whatever nail cutter, and you cut another one and bleeds, that is the entry point. So personal responsibility. The other thing you need to do is to make sure that if you are sick and you have high viral load, also you check your liver. Because even if you are not able to do viral load, because viral load, we've been doing it for free at CPHL. We receive the samples and we do
across the country.
But even when you are not in position to have that test done, if you are able to check your liver, they check the status of the liver. The status of the liver, you look at the enzymes that help us to break down the medicine, to break down all these things in the body for metabolism or for manufacturing, whatever. When your enzymes are high, then you need to start drugs. There are some drugs. Hepatitis B per se does not have treatment that I am taking, like, how I take malaria drugs and then it clears.
Clears.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, the viruses rarely get treatment that clears. But it reduces on the multiplication.
Okay.
Now, these medicines that we use are the same medicines we use in HIV treatment.
Wow.
And you need to take it for a while. So as you continue visiting your doctor to continue to assess and advise you.
In other words, you have to be in close touch with your doctor.
Exactly. So having just been positive for hepatitis B is also not a sentence to death.
Wow.
Because some people say, oh, I have hepatitis B, I'm going to die. No. There are some people who have lived with hepatitis and have died of other causes.
Yeah.
But also, it is very important to do regular checkup if you have hepatitis B. You check your liver, they scan your liver, because if you detect early, if you are beginning to get a cancer in the liver, you can see your doctor and see whether they can do that resection of that part, or you plan, as Dr. Nyanzi had said, if you are able to afford to do the liver transplant.
Wow. Amazing information we are getting this evening. Thank you so much for this very informative and educative session, Dr. Diana. We're going to take a break and we'll be back in a minute. Special thanks to National Medical Stores and Camelin Men's Collections for making this show available to us every week. Kindly continue to share the link, the DOCtalk Show, from Facebook as well as YouTube, the DOCtalk Show, with your friends so that we empower one another. We'll be back in a minute. Thank you.
You are watching the DOCtalk Show.
Bunyoro. Owekitinisa Minister wabatu wamune minyeto Dr. Balamu barugara atenye hamurundo wakandi na kunga abantu mbukama bwa Bunyoro kitala Kingdom nebichweke bihereireho okwejo kumweteranizaho hakebirebe ukwezi 20 okwezi kwa irumbi kweto kwa mwenda omwaka guno obone tutangiro Owekitinisa muno President wihangali ya Uganda hamuna mama General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Munyamasazo ya masindi leka tweteranize turwanise kandi tunage hansi omunyanzi gwa bunaku nituhuro kuhaburwa no muranga kuruga ali president akirekyo alitana abebembezi kuruga Bunyoro abantu abanyakwine integrasi yabo habwabo keto opinion leaders abebembezi ba madini abo bukama abasubuzi hamwe no kwetegereza emirimo ekorwa habyomeko gari boleka ebya 5-star hotel murubuga masindi niko bwiri warubagyo ayitana abeminyeto ahure kuruga haribo harale cyo nemiti ha golf course obwe kiro tukifundikire no muziki kai hamataka hamwe bikucamura bingi bino byona bitero umesente Balam Sounds hamwe na Radio 7 era kade abajikuru bakabarega.
You are watching the DOCtalk show.
It's always a pleasure being with you in your living rooms or on your phones every Thursday evening. So thank you for keeping it here with us. And today we are discussing hepatitis B infection. And we are so delighted to have with us a very wonderful guest, Dr. Diana Atwine. And as we come to the last segment of our show, Dr. Diana, we've talked about hepatitis B, the infection, how it infects us, the prevention on a personal level. In this last segment, I would love us to know what is happening at Ministry of Health concerning this monster that is here with us. What are the strategies in place? What are the plans going on as Ministry of Health?
Ministry of Health, as I mentioned earlier, over 10 years ago, we introduced vaccination for children.
Wow.
So every child, I think now the population of 13, 14 years and downward, every child in Uganda is fully vaccinated against hepatitis B.
Wow.
Then the other people, the oldies, who missed that opportunity, we provided that opportunity when we sent the vaccines to our facilities. We have been doing the campaign of region to region. We began with the high prevalence districts of northern Uganda, and we started moving in phases. And after that, we put the vaccines in our facilities. So it is very important that you test, you know your status, because it doesn't add value when you test. I mean, when you don't test and you just go for vaccination.
Sure.
Because you may find that you are vaccinating against the disease which you have. But we have put vaccines in our facilities. We are able to test. Those that are sick, we are able to link them to care. So that they are assessed fully to see whether they are eligible. Because not everyone who tests positive
is eligible for treatment.
That's
right.
You may test and you are positive, but when your liver is still okay, when your viruses are controlled, the body has controlled the viruses, it's not a big threat, that one you don't need to take medicines. But if you have high viral load or your enzymes in the liver are very high and you still get, those challenges of sickness, weakness, abdominal discomfort, yellowing of the eyes, please go and make sure that you get started on treatment of hepatitis B. When you start on treatment of hepatitis B, actually the symptoms resolve.
Wow.
The viral load goes down. There is really big improvement. But many times people just stop. When they get better, they stop. Hepatitis B, you need to take at minimum at least 6 months on treatment. And then you continue getting checked. So the Ministry of Health, really, our emphasis is on 3 grounds. The first one is to continue educating the public. That's why I'm in this studio today to tell you about hepatitis, that it is a silent killer, it kills, but it can be prevented. So teaching and educating the public. Number 2, to make sure that we avail the the vaccination strategy. We have rolled out this strategy. We have put the vaccines in our facilities. Please make use of that. Number 3, to make sure that those that are affected or those that are infected are linked to care so that they don't progress faster to getting serious complications. Thank you very much.
Wow. That is it. This monster is here with us, but actually there is hope. The government, through the Ministry of Health, is very dedicated and committed to see to it that actually this monster is handled through those strategies that Dr. Diana has shared with us. And these facilities of testing and vaccination is available at all the facilities across the country.
Yes, they're available, and even the medicines are available in big hospitals. And I think we are going also to make sure that some of the medicines are available at health center FOS.
Wow. Yeah, at the beginning we were reminded that actually we are now open. Even the bars are opening in full blast, and we are talking about the liver. If you're having a challenge of hepatitis and then you add excess alcohol, there's going to be a problem. So we need to take the alcohol moderately, even as we talk about this. Basically, where we started, this is a preventable disease. We have a personal responsibility since it's preventable, and then the government has availed vaccinations for all of us, those that are above 14 years, because we know that those that are 14 years and below, they have been vaccinated through the Ministry of Health, through the program of vaccination. So it's up to you and me to stay safe from this infection. Dr. Diana, as we come to a close, any parting short message?
The most important thing is that the future lies in personal responsibility.
Wow.
Not single disease. I've had people sing government etuyambe, government etuyambe. There is no medicine, banange eddagala teriri, eddagala. It is first and foremost, we must take personal responsibility to prevent the diseases.
Oh.
We should not neglect ourselves to take care of ourselves because government etuyambe. When you come to a hospital and you are diseased, you are adding a burden to government.
That's right.
We want to see less people sick. Why do we want this? It has 2 advantages. The first one is that people will be more productive. When you are less sick, you are more productive. You have time to do your business, you have time to go and to be productive in whatever you are doing. Therefore, regular checkup is part of that kind of thing. To prevent a disease is to be cautious of the things that cause you to fall sick. We have NCDs, we have diabetes, we have hypertension, we have cancer is on the rise. Why? Because of our lifestyle. We have reduced infectious diseases, apart from COVID that took us off the balance. But we had significantly reduced malaria, we have significantly reduced HIV, we are now talking about hepatitis and vaccination and rollout treatment. But it is not enough. Whatever programs we have as government, we cannot come and monitor you in your home. We cannot come and monitor what you eat. Please do exercise, lose weight. Make sure that you reduce the chances of getting more diseases. Because when you get a disease, you are burdened to yourself, you are burdened to government. So the future of this country, the development of this country lies in a holistically when we have the holistic approach to health, one, we must individually, much as we are doing business, first and foremost, health first. Take care of your health first. Reduce the chances of you falling sick. So we just want to look at really the holistic picture. that we reduce the disease burden in our country so that we are able to save money. And we go and invest in, tertiary. We want to do kidney transplant, heart transplant. How do we do that when all the money is going to treat malaria and HIV?
Wow.
Thank you.
Amazing admonition to every Ugandan for the year 2022. Health is a personal responsibility, even for the health workers. The old adage goes, health is made at home and only repaired in hospitals when it's broken down. So it is your personal responsibility to stay safe. Dr. Diana has talked about physical exercises, very, very important because the non-communicable diseases are on the rise. Eating right, very, very important. A balanced diet, very, very important. Fruits and vegetables in your diet, very, very important. This is just a summary of what Dr. Diana has shared with us as we come to a close. Do not forget, as we fight on in 2022, health is still your personal responsibility, not for the government, but your personal responsibility. We will be with you next Thursday, same time. Remember to share our link, the DOCtalk show on YouTube, as well as on Facebook. Thank you so much, Dr. Diana, for gracing our show.
Thank you, Gavin.
Have a lovely night. God bless you.
The DOCtalk Show.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.